Cool. Okay, so what we're doing is recreating a 1930s hairstyle. Typically for a hairstyle like this on short hair, we would wet the hair, use a very heavy gel, pin curl, roller set, put under a dryer. But in a modern salon we don't have any of those typically on hand. So we are doing this on dry hair with a straightening iron that has a beveled edge. Right now I'm not using any product at all. I'm going to save that all for finishing. What we're doing right through here is we're doing curls and alternating in rows. We're doing the first row underneath where the hair is quite short, the hair turning in this direction, so out and like this in a C. The next row the curls are coming back in this direction, as you can see here. The next row the curls are going back in the first direction. Here and here you can see the curls. If I place one over my hand you can see the movement. So coming from the scalp out. And then of course this next row, as you can see, the curls are coming down and out this way. So each set of rows, we've got the curls going one way and then the other way, one way and then the other way. When we comb that out we're going to be able to sculpt that into waves. The curls are obviously going to end up being stronger as the hair gets longer because I've got more hair to curl. As you can see I'm getting a much deeper C there and a much stronger pattern. We're going to continue that alternating row all the way back up, biasing the hair on a very, very strong side part, probably over this side because the hair naturally suggests itself. Typically for a 1930s hairstyle we would curl the fringe as well. Looking at the length of the fringe we're going to decide on what we're going to do with that as we go. So we've got a beautiful short bobbed fringe. We may decide to keep that as a modern accent on a period hairstyle, or we may decide to wave it and just create a feature out of that as well. So what I want to do now is just demonstrate how I'm using the irons to create those curls row by row. Simply taking horseshoe sections as we go. If I tilt the head back slowly you see what I mean. It creates like a U or a horseshoe shape, and I'm following the curve of the head around very much like a typewriter. Starting in one corner, coming round to the other, starting the next row in the corner where I finished and going back the other way. So zigzagging up in front. It's just the most efficient way to get it done. Just going to step across now to the other side. So I'll step behind the camera for one moment. And what you'll see, just over in this corner here, these last curls have gone this way. Yep. So what we want to do is have curls going towards this place the other way. So we take the part, it's approximately 1 knuckle deep. It can be a little bit less or a little bit more depending on the thickness of the hair. And I'm taking the slice on a slight diagonal away from the face, away from the curl. So if I was curling this way, I'd take the part that way and curl away. So the diagonal opposite to the curl. Basically it should make a T pattern. So if I slice through there, take that section, that line there, I should hold the hair out perpendicular, which would make a T, and then I wind the curl in on that angle. And that'll give me the direction I want, quite simply and neatly. So taking the hair, using the irons are rounded on the edge, so they're beveled. You can't use very wide irons, they need to be narrow or a curling iron. Lifting the hair, so I'm not holding the hair down, making sure I'm lifting it up from the head, turning the hair as soon as I close all the way through so I can see the ends come right through, slide out till I've made my curl. I need to have completed that curl all the way through to the end. And I'm going to let that curl sit there. For the strongest curls I could take pin curl clips and clip it to the base. But for 1930s, look, the wave was very soft and romantic as opposed to the very hard, strong wave of the 1920s. There's a certain softness to this technique. We're doing it on dry hair as opposed to wet finger waves as well. So we get a similar look, but it's a lot fuller and a lot softer than the 1920s. So lifting the hair up, lifting up and turning as we go, making sure we curl right through to the ends. And just let that sit out to the side. If you're not happy with the curl, just go through and do it until you are. So make sure you continually turn the iron so the curls stay round and don't become square. If you're starting to get angles because you're stopping and starting as you turn, then you're going to need to smooth it out and just get a nice round movement out of that. I'll just demonstrate 2 more, and then through the magic of electricity we'll come back to the comb out. Lifting the hair up, Making sure you're putting the iron in on the same angle that you parted the hair, so don't go across, don't go straight down, it needs to go in on the diagonal. Lift the hair up and turn straight away. That diagonal should be approximately 45 degrees. As you work around the curve of the head, make sure that you're not really picking up any hair from underneath. Normally you do blend row to row when you're blow drying or cutting, but in this instance we don't want that. The shallower you make, or the deeper you make your angle, the stronger the curl will be. The softer you make your angle, the flatter it's going to be. So we want a bit of volume, particularly up here around the crown. And that's because 1930s hairstyles typically had a triangular or a diamond shape. And I'll be explaining that a little bit later on when we do the comb up. Last one for demonstration. On an angle, don't twist the hair, don't fold the hair, keep it flat. And there we go, and we'll come back.